Well, good morning, and thank you for attending our webinar this morning. Our presentation today is with James Brose from North American. We want to welcome him today, and today he's going to go over a few things, North American's portfolio briefly, and then dive a little bit farther into one of their top-selling indexed annuities, and also talk about their loyalty program at North American. So we look forward to hearing more from James in a few minutes here. My name is Jim Guinan. I'm Annuity Sales Director here with Insurance Agency Marketing. I will be hosting the presentation today. First of all, I want to let all of you know we are recording this program. So if for some reason you have to leave us early, or you do want to listen in again at a later time, it will be available early this afternoon, hopefully. So with that, I want to get started, talk a little bit about some things going on here at Insurance Agency Marketing, some of our programs, and also kind of looking into some incentives, and then I'll turn the presentation over to James. So with that, let's get started here. I want to talk to you first of all about some business builders here at Insurance Agency Marketing, and some of you are probably familiar with our different programs. One of those, of course, is our referred producer program. As you can see, it kind of outlines how you benefit from that. But any individuals that you know are writing life, Medicare, fixed annuity business are people that we may want to talk to. And so we appreciate your referrals. When that person contracts, we'll cut you a check for that. And then ongoing, we will pay you, in essence, an override for the business that they write. So it's unlimited. You're not capped on so many individuals in a given year or career-wise. So again, let us know who those people are. As you know from your own practice, referrals are the most qualified individuals to work with. Our marketing reimbursement program, again, is an account that we throw dollars into for business you write. So whether it's single premium life, indexed annuity, indexed UL, all has a conversion for dollars that we will set aside in a marketing reimbursement account for you. And then when you have business expenses, you submit that to us and we will reimburse you 50% on that expense. All right. And then the biggest, I think probably most attractive right now is our new producer builder or business program. And as you can see, there's different levels. We've kind of expanded this a little bit, more defined our new producer bonus as we came into 2020. So for your first 180 days of contracting and writing business with us, as you can see, the different levels, minimum 100,000 and $1 million or above. So again, we've tried to define this a little better, make it more rewarding for the upper levels. And again, your first 180 days, our way of saying thank you, helping you put some of that benefit back into your own practice. Our back office support, again, they support you. They also support us in our marketing role. The goal, of course, is to save you time and effort. So really the value add of an IMO is to do many of these things for you. So again, our job is to help you with quotes, case design, to streamline the contracting process so you don't have to fill out contracting for every new carrier that you want to add. Again, all of these things are case managers follow up on cases so that you don't have to call the home office, and this gives you an opportunity to go do what you do best. I want to talk a little bit about Firelight. If you've not submitted an application through Firelight, you may want to do so. Again, many carriers are now offering an electronic app, and you can do so through our website. So if you have a log on to our website, if you don't, you need to get one, and then you would need to also sign in and create that for Firelight. And what that's done is helped you with cutting down on errors and streamlining the application process. So here are some carriers that we now have available on Firelight, as you can see, quite a few, and there's many more coming. I would say that's probably about, what is that, about 20 plus annuity carriers, and there's more coming. So again, if you've not processed or submitted an application that way, I would suggest going on to our website and signing into Firelight, and it's pretty streamlined. Our marketing, our creative marketing, I should say, has really grown this last couple of years. As you can see, these are some of the areas that they focus on in helping you with your business, developing a connection between your business and what you've done now, perhaps, and a website. I think that's probably the most requested area that they work with on agents right now, is either improving or developing websites, and then email marketing and so forth. So if you're interested in, we're still in the beginning part of 2020, and now is the time to take advantage of some of these services. If you're not doing that, a way to reach out in different ways to prospect and communicate with your existing clients. Our website is www.iamsinc.com. That's IAMSINC.com. We, as marketers, myself, I go to the website every day. Again, mine's more product related, but we're helping agents all the time with income rider comparisons, searching for specific products, and the tools that we have on the website really help not only you, but us, but you have access to this too. So if you want to know through, for example, our annuity grid, if it's after hours and you're not able to reach one of us, our annuity portfolio is updated fairly regularly, and again, it hits on our top carriers, our top carriers and the top products. Also has a section on multi-year rates, so you could easily go in and find out what are the top rates for a 3, 5, or 7-year multi-year rate. You can also get life quotes, and again, we have a sales resource library, as it says on the bottom of the screen. That's a very there's a lot of good information in there. There are sample calculators, fact finders, sales ideas, and presentations that you can utilize in your practice. All right, I want to talk a little bit about IAMS wealth management. And if you are interested in this a little further, I'm going to launch a question here, a poll question, and you can certainly answer that if you'd like. But our wealth management program area has been working in this for about 3 years. We've had a registered investment advisor for over 3 years, IAMS Wealth. As you can see, if you're familiar with this, this is a way to certainly become a advisory, a fiduciary, and it can complement your current practice. And certainly Charles and his team would be glad to visit with you about some of the ways to increase your revenue, your client retention, and also build relationships and what's involved as far as testing, the expenses that you would incur on an ongoing basis, and also the revenue potential. So if you'd like to know more about IAMS Wealth Management, please respond to this question. After the webinar is over, you'll get contacted with, if you'd just like to get some information on the email, or if you'd like to have a discussion, they'd be glad to visit with you. Again, this is a separate division from insurance agency marketing, which is our insurance brokerage. So I just want you to know that. And we'd certainly be glad to visit with you, as I mentioned, from our RIA, IAMS Wealth Management. Okay, I'm going to close that poll question out there. But if you do have more interest in that, and you'd like to, you can always type in our answer box here. You can type in a question or something specific, and they'll be glad to reach back out to you. Okay, our Life and Annuity Academy. This is our 2-day producer training. And we do have an academy scheduled for May 6th through the 8th. And so we are accepting registrations for that as we speak. So if you have an interest in this, certainly let us know. This is a program that we run several times a year, and it's a way to uh, arm yourself to take your business to another level. That's how I like to say it. As you can see, some of the topics, it is updated every time, and we don't have the same presentation over and over again, but this is an opportunity for you to um, be around and interact with other top producers, and also learn about ways to grow your business through seminar selling and other advanced topics. So we are looking at around 40 producers for this upcoming academy. They have to be contracted with one of our top carriers and or more. And of course, another criteria would be that you're in the annuity and life business now and writing business. Since it is an all expense paid program, we are looking for individuals that are writing at least $500,000 to $1 million of annuity premium. And so if you have interest in this, would like to know more, or just have a question about it, let me know. I'm going to launch a poll on that. So please quickly, if you can, just respond if you'd like to know more about or get an email. If you respond yes and you've not been sent anything on this before, you will get an email after the webinar with more information. I can, certainly we can also give you a sample agenda from our past academies. But it's a great experience. It's a great opportunity to get some ideas to help you grow the business. And what a great time of year since we're still in the beginning part of 2020. So again, thanks for your responses to that. And again, if you have any questions detailed, you can certainly ask me, or if there's a sales manager that you already talked to, any one of us would be glad to answer any questions you have about our Life and Annuity Academy. Okay, just a few more, and then I'm going to let James take over here. I want to talk to you about a couple incentives here. Our marketing summit that is just with IAMS and Athene. So if you're a licensed producer with Athene now, this is an exclusive incentive trip that we've co-opted with Athene ourselves. So this is a marketing summit that runs from the qualification runs from July 1st of last year to June 30th of this year, and it will be held in late August of 2020 at the Montage Los Cabos. So again, it is a $3 million premium minimum to qualify for this exclusive trip. Okay, Paradise on the Pacific. This is IAMS Marketing Summit for 2021. And again, this is an 18-month qualification, so it's basically our top producers escape program. That's from July of last year to December 31st of this year, and it's in Puerto Vallarta. I believe I said that right. March 7th through the 11th of next year, and this would be on all business that you submit to IAMS. Athene, of course, would count double. So you could qualify for both incentives, but all business counts for this. And again, this is a $3.5 million qualification, both educational and social event. Looks to me like more social on these screens here, which is fine. All right, and then the other part of that would be the extended trip. If your production, as you can see on here, we're at a higher level. There'll be an extended trip March 11th through the 14th. And again, a educational and social event that we look forward to helping you qualify for. All right, so I want to thank you for your time so far. And at this point, I'm going to turn the presentation over to James Bros from North American. James, do you have the screen now?
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And hopefully we got everything switched over here.
I can see it. I can see it.
Perfect. Want to thank you, Jim. First off, thank Jim and his team over at IAMS. We absolutely appreciate the opportunity. We appreciate the partnership. It's been a great relationship for us in the past. We look forward to continuing that success moving forward. Everyone on the line, I also appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule. I do understand this is time away from potential meetings you have with your clients, so I definitely appreciate the opportunity. Quick introduction of myself. My name is James Bros. I'm with North American's Annuity Division. I manage our broker-dealer distribution, and I'm also one of our internal wholesalers here working with the reps as well as the different marketers in the central region. I've been with the company now for going on about 13 years. Most of that has been spent with our sales teams. So let's jump over here. We're going to take a quick flyover view of North American's portfolio here. We have quite a few products that are available, but there's logic behind this. We're not a square peg round hole type of company. We want to make sure that we've got options that are available for each client and each need that should arise through those clients. This particular slide here actually does a really good job of showing where the products are going to fit based on what those clients' objectives are. You'll see up towards the top center of the screen, that's going to be the Charter Plus and Performance Choice series. Those are going to be accumulation-focused products with upfront premium bonuses. Could be a client that's looking for flexible premium to continue to add to that value, add to that annuity over a long period of time. If you look just over to the right, you're going to see Versa Choice. Now that is a product that we're going to expand more on here in just a moment. That is our #1 selling accumulation product. Go below that, Strategic Design Annuity X, and then Income Choice. I'm going to pair those two together. Those are going to be both on our income side of the world. The SDAX for short, that one has a liquidity feature that's tied into it as well, but both are income-focused designs. And then Benefit Solutions, we've had that product around for quite some time as well. We throw that into our multi-benefit category. Reason so is that product is built to accumulate. It's built for income, but it's also built for legacy for your beneficiaries. That the client's concerned about passing funds along to the beneficiary should something happen to them. There's a death benefit component to that product as well. So again, several product designs here, but it's because we really want you guys to be able to go out there and cater a product to specific needs of that client and not try to just make something work because it's the only option. Now let's dive into Versa Choice here a little bit. Versa Choice, as I mentioned before, this is our #1 accumulation product. Product itself is a fairly simple, straightforward accumulation design. You have multiple indices available on this particular product for the growth component. You have simple capped allocations. You've got margin and participation designs as well with no caps. You've got some low volatility indices blended in there. The logic behind this is we want to make sure your clients have more than one option within their annuity contract to be able to diversify those allocations. And I'll get into some information a little bit later in the presentation about the diversification and the bucketing. But again, we don't focus on just one index within our products. There's going to be a multitude of indices available that your clients can take advantage of. They can adjust those allocations on an annual basis, or if they're using any of the 2-year point-to-points on a biannual basis. First to market liquidity. This is an enhanced liquidity benefit rider that can be included with the Versa Choice. So you can buy this as a standalone accumulation product, or if you have clients that are looking for enhanced liquidity options, they're concerned that if their living situations change or if an emergency comes up, they want to know that they're going to have access to some of those funds. So with this particular product here, you can include the enhanced liquidity benefit rider at a cost of only 50 basis points. What this is going to give you automatically is cumulative withdrawals. You have your standard 10% penalty-free withdrawals available. If you do not take the 10%, it will accumulate up to a maximum of 20%. So every other year, you'd have access to 20% penalty-free withdrawal if nothing was taken in the prior year. Penalty-free withdrawals on this product also start in the first year. So if they need a 10% withdrawal in that first year, that is available to them. Return of premium. Pretty straightforward, but what this does for your clients is allows them anytime after the second policy anniversary, if they change their mind, if their situations have adjusted, we will give them their money back. Now they forfeit interest that's been earned, but we'll give them exactly what they've put into the contract, less any withdrawals that they would have taken. If you put $100,000 in, I give you $100,000 back. No questions asked, no penalties, and no charge back to the reps for the return of premium either. And then you have 2 additional benefits that become unlocked if the client is unable to perform 2 of 6 ADLs. Now, the only caveat with this is the client has to be able to perform all 6 ADLs at time of issue of the contract. Those 2 additional benefits: surrender charge waiver, which is going to give them 100% of their accumulation value, including any interest that they've earned, with 0 surrender charges or penalties applied to the contract. That is available at any point in time as long as the client is unable to perform 2 of 6 ADLs. And then you have an enhanced payout benefit. This is going to be for a client that wants to get out of the contract, but they don't necessarily need to get out all in one shot. If you look over there, there's a multiplier on the bottom right-hand side of your screen that, depending on how long that contract's been enforced, we will actually enhance their accumulation value by the multiplier. Let's say they're at year 5, we'll multiply that by 120%, and they would be able to take out 120% of their accumulation value if they do that over 5 equal payments. So they'll essentially liquidate the contract over 4 years. So nice benefit to give them additional accumulation value. It's also going to help out from a taxation standpoint by stretching out that balance over those 5 equal payments. Now, this piece here, it's basically covering the same stuff we talked about before, but this is more of the back of the napkin concept if you're wanting to illustrate this out for a client. It's an easy way to draw this out for your clients that's understandable for them. Essentially, you're going to draw out the equal quadrants, and then you're going to list out the different benefits. Enhanced penalty-free withdrawals and return of premium automatically qualify for those just simply by having the rider. And then you have let me go back here one more slide here. You have the ADL-based surrender charge waiver and the ADL-based payout benefit that you would qualify for if you cannot perform 2 of 6 ADLs. Now, this slide here, this is expanding on the ADL-based multiplier benefit. So you'll see an accumulation value. If we look at year 6, your accumulation value is approximately $136,000. But if they're unable to perform 2 of 6 ADLs, the 125% multiplier is going to come into play. We're now going to use $170,000 as their calculation for the 5 equal payments. So for that client, just simply by withdrawing that over 5 equal payments, has increased their values by about $25,000, $30,000. So great benefit there. Now let's go into a concept real quick on bucketing, and this can actually be used in a couple different ways. One way is as we talked before, having multiple products available for multiple client needs. We're going to start with that, and then I'm also going to jump into indexed options for you as well. But the first will be using multiple products. I've got a gentleman down in Arizona that does probably about $15–20 million of annuity business per year, specifically using these bucketing concepts. The focus is they're going to open up one annuity, and let's say you will use VersaChoice here, that is going to be for straight accumulation. I'm not going to put any liquidity riders or anything additional with that contract. We're simply going to accumulate that money. I'm going to open up a second VersaChoice that is going to be my emergency bucket of funds, or it could be my what-if bucket of funds. That contract, I will include the rider with that. So if my situation changes, I need access to money, I will dip into the emergency bucket of funds and not have to disturb my accumulation bucket. So it works very well for diversifying that way. Another option you can do is you can actually blend this with income-designed products. So again, you'll still use a product like a VersaChoice for accumulation, but maybe we're also solving for a lifetime income need. Instead of having an emergency bucket or what-if buckets, you could have an income bucket, and let's say we'll use Income Choice 10 for that. So now the client has an accumulation bucket to let that value grow, and they have an income bucket that sometime down the road they're going to turn the income stream on, guarantee them an income for the rest of their life, and you're not having to disturb that second piece of funds that's in that accumulation bucket. So definitely want you to consider as you're working with some of these clients, especially those larger dollar amounts, people that are working with several $100,000, look into bucketing. You can use the EAP platforms as Jim was talking about earlier. That is a very easy platform to be able to duplicate an application and without having to go back down pen and paper and refill out an application. You can duplicate an application over and it'll take you about 1 minute. Very simple process, but I would definitely encourage you to consider looking into some bucketing options on the next case you've got working on those higher valued clients. The second piece I'll talk about with bucketing is more on your indices. And I kind of touched on this a little bit before on VersaChoice, how you have multiple indexed options that are available for your clients. If you look industry-wide, you'll see there's quite a few companies out there that hang their hat on one or two indices. Those are really strong performing indices on illustrations. They may or may not perform as well in reality, but they illustrate really well. And that's really what that company hones in and focuses on. The flaw in that is that index may not always perform. It may not always be the best option depending on what's going on in the marketplace. What you want to have is options for your clients to be able to shift their funds around and diversify within one product. And so that's where North American is going to win, because we have multiple strategies available with multiple index types that the clients can use. Again, low volatility, you have straight caps, participation rates. You have multiple ways to diversify within that one product. Another benefit of that bucketing of your indices or diversifying of your indices within the one product, you're also going to reduce the number of times that you're going to see a zero on a client statement. If you just put 100% of the funds into one index, you have about a 25% chance of getting a zero. If you were to diversify those allocations around to multiple indices, you're actually going to reduce that down to probably closer to 5% looking back at history, without actually impacting your bottom line of your credited rate. So again, definite win for North American in that category, having multiple indices available within each product so you can diversify within that one design. Let's go through a couple of our marketing pieces that we have available on the VersaChoice product. So you have several pieces. These are all client-friendly pieces that you can use, talking about the benefits of the annuity itself, but then also diving a little bit deeper into that enhanced liquidity. If you have clients, again, concerned about emergencies and things of that nature, tying their money up for too long of a period of time, great pieces to help walk through and show them the benefits of the liquidity rider and the VersaChoice. We also have, if you got a pen in front of you, a client-friendly website. That's www.versachoice.com. This is a great resource, for your clients to use, as this is going to give them all of our client-friendly materials, but then there's also videos that are on this site where your clients can sit down at their own time and walk through these different benefits. That'll show the indices, it's going to show the product itself, show the liquidity rider and how those things work. So a valuable resource for your clients to use to get more comfortable and up to speed with that product. All right, this slide here, this is on our loyalty program. This is our EPC loyalty program. We had this program in place 2019, brought it back here in 2020, exactly as it was last year. Great value to your organization. You can see the different figures on here: 1 million, 3 million, and 5 million for each levels. One of the benefits here is this is retroactive. So as you hit the different thresholds, we will retroactively pay back the compensation that would have been due. We'll use $1 million as your first example. That's a 0.5% in additional compensation moving forward. However, we will also retroactively pay that 0.5%. So you'd get a check for $5,000. At $3 million, it's 1% moving forward, and again, we'll true you up retroactively. And at $5 million, it's 1.5% moving forward, and again, trued up retroactively. To put a number out there, if you were to hit the $5 million threshold, all in, if you look at your retroactive compensation plus what you've been earning up until that particular point in just EPC loyalty compensation, you have $75,000 on the table. So great benefit. You can put that right back into your business, use that for marketing campaigns, leads, things of that nature. So great opportunity. If you have questions, make sure to get in touch with Jim and his team at IAMS to discuss. You can also get in touch with me here at North American. We can walk through that with you as well. One thing I do not have the slide on here for, but when Jim was talking about EAP earlier, it prompted something in my brain I wanted to make sure you guys knew about. We just launched last week a pre-sale through our Annuity EAP platform, which also can be launched into IAMS program. What this does, it actually allows you to pre-submit a case through for suitability review electronically through the EAP platform. Suitability will be able to take a look at that case. If there's any questions or concerns, those can be addressed up front before you go through the full application process. Once approved, you'll get notification sent back to you letting you know that your application has been approved and it's ready for submission. You will then be able to import all of that data from the suitability form right into your Annuity e-application, so you don't have to fill out the suitability form again. Imports all that right back into eApp. You finish up the process of filling out the application as you normally would through the eApp platform. Click submit, send, you're good to go. You know that case has already been approved by suitability. There's not going to be any hiccups or hangups. If you're not using the eApp platforms right now, I highly encourage it. If you look at not in good order rates, you have probably approaching about 80% of cases that are submitted paper app are deemed not in good order, meaning you got to go back to your clients in most of those situations and get things up to date. When you're submitting applications through the eApp platform, that number is down closer to 5%. So definitely a way to clean up the business, get your policies issued quicker, get your clients their policies quicker, get paid quicker. Huge benefit. So with that, if there are any questions, definitely feel free to get those keyed in. Jim and I'd be happy to answer any of those. And I appreciate, again, the time, the opportunity, taking some time out of your day. Appreciate the team, Jim at IAMS. Appreciate the partnership. Look forward to having a great 2020 and beyond.
Yes, well, thank you very much. And I do have a couple questions. I appreciate your presentation today, and did want to, before we go much further, make available to anyone out there that would like to get more information on North American VersaChoice or to get appointed with North American. So I just launched that poll question out there for those of you that might want to get appointed with North American, get a little more information on VersaChoice, and I'll leave that open for a moment here. There was a couple questions, and one of those was what product, let's see here, let me read this. What product can you use now for an inherited IRA where the money must be distributed within 10 years?
So we'll be talking on that about a 2020 date of death, because we're still definitely in the inherited space. A lot of companies have just gotten out of it altogether based on the Secure Act and the new rules with the Secure Act. We're absolutely still in that space. If the date of death occurred in 2019 and prior rules are going to still apply. This means that the client's going to have to take out an RMD based on their life expectancy just as they were before. Product-wise, for a 2019 and prior date of death, you have several products that you can use: VersaChoice, Performance Choice. Really, the only caveat is you have to stay away from products with income rider functionality, because that doesn't always blend in with the required distributions that they have to take out. If we're talking about 2020 and forward, now we're talking about Secure Act, and so we're talking about the new guidelines that would apply. The key here is that the entire value has to be paid out within 10 years. So we can't use a 10-year product in this example because you still have that final year of surrender. So we have to look at products that are less than 10 years. Performance Choice 8, Performance Choice 8 Plus, those are both available from an accumulation perspective. You can use a multi-year guarantee fixed annuity. We have the 5-year that's available. That's kind of the sweet spot there. Probably the most common between those, I would say, is probably Performance Choice 8 and 8 Plus, or simply using a 5 through 9 year SPIA.
Mm-hmm. The additional comment on that was that death took place January 20th of this year, so it would be a 2020.
Yep. So 2020 guidelines. So I'd say let's use, if we want a structured liquidation, you can go the route of a SPIA 5 through 9 year period certain. If they're not as concerned about a structured liquidation, then go Performance Choice 8 or the 8 Plus. You still have access to your 10% penalty-free withdrawals during that surrender schedule. I would encourage sitting down and looking at the client's financials in that situation to see how rapidly we need to liquidate that contract down. They're going into an inherited IRA, tells me that they're trying to stretch out taxation in some way, shape, or form. So just get an idea of how rapidly we need to liquidate that policy down over the surrender schedule, just so they don't get hit with a monster tax bill at the end.
Okay. One other question was that you can illustrate Versa Choice. Can you illustrate it with and without the rider? So does it
Yes,
have to be with the Okay, so you can just illustrate the accumulation part only.
absolutely. You can do it both ways. The illustration software is pretty flexible. You essentially you're going to key in the client data information, and then you'll go ahead and indicate how you want to allocate on the illustration, premium amounts, if you want to include any riders, which would be that enhanced liquidity benefit rider. You can schedule withdrawals. So if a client has to take RMDs, or if you want to illustrate a scenario of taking out enhanced penalty-free withdrawals, you can do all that through the software. But yeah, absolutely to your question, you can illustrate it with or without the rider.
Okay, super. Okay, well, that's all the questions I have that I can see. If there's additional questions, of course, they are welcome to ask that or call us and let us know what we can help. But I want to thank you, James, for your presentation today and good information on the EPC with North American's broad portfolio, and again on VersaChoice, which is still, is that not the #1 selling product at North American now?
It is. When we
Yeah.
launched VersaChoice, it's been, oh gosh, I had to go back, probably about 3 years or so that we launched that product, and it very rapidly moved up to #1. A lot of times when we roll out a new product, it takes a little bit of time for folks to understand where to use it and to grasp the concept of what the product was built for. This product, in the 13 years that I've been with the company, was the fastest moving new product launch that we've had, and it moved up to #1 very quickly. I see probably about 30% of the cases I see with the enhanced liquidity benefit rider. So most of those are coming in just as straight accumulation plays, or as we talked about in the presentation, some bucketing, doing a split of some in the accumulation focus and then adding a rider to a second annuity for the liquidity piece. But about 30% has that rider included.
Super.
Still a focal product of ours. We had a rate increase on that product back on February the 4th. I should have mentioned that back in the presentation, but had a rate increase on the Mark 5 allocations. The product itself, using the Mark allocations especially, illustrates out very well. We've seen fantastic performance out of those indices, so not just on an illustration, but real life, great performance coming out of those. We're very excited about it. A lot of competition right now. You're seeing rate decreases coming up, and we applied a rate increase on that product back on February the 4th.
Great. Very good. Well, thanks again so much. Appreciate the information. I want to thank all of you for your time today, and make it a good week, okay? Thank you.